Alright, microphone check 1 2 1 2. Is this thing on? Alright, let's do this. That's why they call me for StarCraft. I'm back. That's why they call me for StarCraft. I'm back. A murder noob, one game at a time. You never heard of a mind as strategic as mine. You better get rid of that nine pool, it ain't gonna help. What good's it gonna do against a Terran Walson himself? I'm ready as hell. Hell, I'm anxious as hell. My siege tank's ready to shell. You're bailing straight back to hell. Hey! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. How is that for an intro? I think I got my point across, though. I am back to casting. Hopefully, you guys are ready for this game. Today's matchup is going to be between LaLush and Strelok, and I can't just leave it at that. That was pretty ridiculous, wasn't it? I mean, come on, seriously. Who comes up with that? Well, I guess I did. I was on the way home from work last night, and I was like, I need to think of a nice little way to let everyone know that I'm back to casting games for them. So that was what I came up with. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Too entertaining. So anyways, today's matchup is going to be between LaLush, our Zerg player, and Strelok, the Terran player. We are here on Xel'Naga Caverns. This should be a pretty interesting matchup. I quite enjoy watching both players. Looks like Strelok starting off with a wall off at the bottom of his ramp. So it looks like we're going to be seeing a supply depot right here, and the barracks is probably going to be placed right about here as well. So that's quite interesting. Nice little placement there by Strelok. Now over here, for LaLush, what is he doing? Well, it's just going to be macroing up at this point, coming out with some drones and yada, yada, yada. Strategy video, going to be coming out with at least one. Actually, I'd like to do 3. I think I'm going to do 3 right in a row, so 1 for each of the races. I'm going to get that done this weekend. I do have work tonight. I'm just getting this done before I ship out to work, but after that, I'm going to get home probably about 1 or 2 in the morning, because that's what it's like when you work at a bar, and I'm going to try to find some decent games, and I'm going to get some strategy videos out for you guys tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to try to get them all finished by this weekend. So if you guys are looking for some more strat videos, they are coming. Be excited, be thrilled, be looking forward to it. Strelok going to be moving out his SCV right now, trying to get a scout. As always with the commentaries, I haven't seen this game yet. Again, much different than the strategy videos where I watch all the games prior to try to find something decent. With the commentaries, I look for games that got good ratings or good comments from the websites that I get them from, and then I just cast those, and I basically just see what happens, as you guys do. So LaLush going for that quick expansion, also coming out with that spawning pool right over here. No extractor as of yet. Going to be using all of his drones to get resources so they can drone up nice and hard. Going to be moving down with this drone as well to engage that SCV that is coming down. Also trying to pick off that SCV as well. Now, we do have the barracks finished right now. First Marine on the way out. Looks like he's going to move forward to do some scouting. Also try to take care of some drones if at all possible. And a tech lab going down. So we may be seeing an early Reaper from Strelok, very, very possibly. You can see a mining gas right here. Hasn't gotten that second building as of yet. Also coming out with the secondary wall off, so in case the first one gets busted down, he does have this tertiary. Is that the proper term? I believe so. Tertiary is secondary, kind of. I think something like that. Anyways, no, coming out with the Marine and getting Stimpack, in fact. So he's going to be doing an early Marine push, I would imagine. Getting Stimpack very, very early and not going for that Reaper with the tech lab, which is actually what I initially assumed, but again, I was wrong. And it's interesting because, as you can see here, if he did come out with that Reaper, he could actually do a fair bit of damage. You can see at the moment, LaLush doesn't really have much to do with it. So just something to consider, playing with Reapers, although it used to be extremely popular, has kind of fallen off since that Reaper, the jetpack nerf, the nitro packs, the nitro pack nerf that took place. Since then, Reapers haven't been used quite as often. But here we go, moving out with 3 Marines right now. If they do manage to catch up to these Zerglings, going to have an easy time of picking them off, especially when grouped up. And there we go, one Zergling going to be dropping. Second Zergling realizing his impending doom, trying to run away, but Marine's going to be running right in his direction. Do manage to get a few shots off. I don't think he's going to kill it, though. Is checking for an expansion, and LaLush is going to be, unfortunately, disappointed here because there is no expansion. They're also coming down with 2 more barracks. They're going to be seeing a really, really early, heavy bio push, I would assume. We do have this command center coming out as well, so obviously going to be seeing an expansion very soon from Strelok as well. Now over in LaLush's base, what do we see? Roach Warren coming out. This is pretty much going to nullify any type of Marine push. Even with Stimpack, Marines are not very strong against Roaches at all, so that really wouldn't work out too much in Strelok's favor. Maybe Strelok's going to get a scout of it. We'll see here. Do we have any Zerglings on the board right now? I know that he did lose the 1. No, so no more Zerglings right now for LaLush, so he's not going to be able to use Zerglings to stop this SCV. SCV scout trying to move in, going to be very close. 2 drones move forward, want to take a shot, but no, going to be avoiding that. Queen does move forward, manages to take him out, so he does deny the scout there of that Roach one. That is what, Strelok was looking for. He wanted to see see what kind of tech he would be up against, but at this point, not quite certain. And here we do, coming down with 2 reactors, so obviously going to be seeing a marine heavy push here from Strelok. Now again, like I said, when we do have a few roaches on the board, that's going to be a little bit problematic. One roach is moving forward, going to be grabbing the Xel'Naga tower to see that's any sort of push coming. You might want to try to grab that second one as well. In fact, looks like he's going to just be moving all the way forward, probably going to be checking the expansion over here for Strelok. Now, not a whole lot else going on right now. Both players pretty much just macroing up. Strelok getting ready for that expansion. Going to saturate his main just a little bit more, and then once he transfers the expansion over, once he feels safe, he's probably going to do that when he pushes. There we go. So lifting off. So I'd imagine a push coming sometime in the near future. Here's that roach. Going to try to get that scout. Moving forward, though, we do have these 2 marauders. Are going to lower the depot and try to catch him. No, they are not. So not going to lower the depot, try to catch him, and we are getting that combat shield right now. So definitely going to be a very, very, very marine heavy push here from Strelok. Roach moving over to the side to check for that expansion. You can see here he's now fully aware of that, so he knows the expansion is going to go down. It's going to be retreating back behind the brush, probably going to be moving back home after that. Lots and lots of Zerglings moving out right now, a few roaches as well, and here we go. Looks like we're going to see LaLush trying to hit that expansion, doing what he can to take it out. Combat shield just about finished. Also, you have to realize Stimpak's finished right now as well, so that's definitely going to help Strelok quite a bit. And here we go, moving over to the left-hand side, LaLush's forces right here hiding behind the brush, getting ready to engage. Probably going to be pushing forward with these roaches and then trying to get us around, but no, sees the push coming, going to retreat, and here we go. Zergling's going to go to work right here, probably going to take out a ton of SCVs, moving into the mineral line, trying to take out a few. Depot is raised, though, and oh boy, those SCVs, they got sabotaged there. Going to be taking a loss. Now, he is going to use the Marines to kill, but still going to be pushing forward as well with these Marines and Marauders. Managed to take out a few of those Zerglings, but not without his loss there. Lost a ton of SCVs. Scan going down, taking out this Creep Tumors. Going to be pushing forward. Heavy push right now from Strelok with Marines and Marauders. Going to be moving to the mineral line, trying to pay back his loss of workers, trying to take out as many drones as possible. And ooh, he might be able to take this down before he gets engaged, though. Stimpak dropping off, so not quite as effective. Going to try to get surrounded. Stimpak going back up, moving forward, microing away, so good job there by Strelok. He just wants to prevent the surround as much as possible. This is actually a really nice position right here behind this brush. He can keep his forces spread out and stop the surround and just allow them to engage in the front, but no, a little bit too much right now for him to handle. LaLush has a lot of Zerglings, does manage to get us around, and those roaches in the back spewing acid right in their face. That didn't work quite as much as LaLush or as Strelok would have preferred. Now trying to resaturate this expansion right now, coming down with that mule as well. We are seeing an additional counter push right now from LaLush. Going to be moving forward with these Zerglings, trying to surround these Marines. He might lose those, but no, Stimpak going down, managing to run away that Marine pretty safely. Lots of Marines and Marauders. Zerglings trying to move into the mineral line again, but no, they are going to be denied there. SCV joining the fray as well. He does want to go back to mining, and there he goes. Are seeing some more roaches, so very, very aggressive stance so far from LaLush. You can see here, having forces in 2 different positions. It's going to allow him to see a push, and if he sees a push, he's going to move into the middle line with these Zerglings. A little surprised that Strelok hasn't tried to deal with these so far. I'm not even sure he knows at this point that those Zerglings are still there. And that, of course, is problematic. He definitely wants to check for that. And as soon as he moves out, Zergling's moving right back in there. Going to be taking out SCVs, forcing the units back here for Strelok, keeping a few up front to see any roach push or anything like that, if possible. And Zergling's going to be running away. This is a huge nuisance right now. Strelok definitely wants to put something back here. I would suggest putting a depot just to see when they're coming. And, you know, if they do push forward, you can use some of your units to walk forward and deal with them. But no, he isn't, in fact, doing that. Now, let's take a look here. We are at the unit counting station. You can see that big discrepancy. Let's look at the income tab too. So, you know, definitely LaLush is in a strong position. Marines and Marauders pushing forward. Now, at this point, Strelok needs to do some damage. He needs to kind of counteract all this harassment that he's been taking so far from LaLush. He needs to do something. He wants to try to take out this expansion if at all possible. We do have Banelings in, so he's going to want to be careful with those Marines, try to micro them away from the Banelings, of course, coupled with those roaches. We do have that Spire coming in and 24 Zerglings, so I think at this point LaLush is going to be okay to fend off this attack. Looks like Strelok's pushing back, though, just moving forward with the intention of killing those Creep Tumors. Lots of Banelings and Zerglings moving in the middle line, trying to microwave those SCVs, keeping those Marauders and Marines alive to pick off the Banelings, so good job there. I think he did take a few losses, though. Looks like he may have lost some SCVs. Also stopped some mining there for a minute, so that's no good. Now, inside of his base, what do we see? He was just continuing this up. You can see just now getting that factory, so just been relying on Marines and Marauders so far in this game. Again, we do have that Spire just about finished right now for LaLush, and once he gets Mutas out, it's going to definitely put Strelok in a tough position. Like I said earlier, he needs to do some sort of damage. LaLush is being pretty commanding so far at harassing and keeping Strelok from mining at his expansion, and this, of course, is a huge, huge problem for him. Without mining, he can't stay on par with the economy of LaLush, and without staying on par with his economy, he falls behind in army size, and that's obviously, like I said, huge problem. Let's take a look at that army tab. Okay, so I'm a huge liar. Basically, at this point, LaLush is lower on the army tab, but you do have to realize as well that that is because he's got so much invested here in these resources. Let's take a look at that income tab. You can see definitely having a stronger economy now. Very, very, very well saturated at his expansion. His main's pretty well saturated as well. Going to be moving into this expansion. Might even be moving down here as well. He could probably afford to do both at the same time. But because of all the harassment, because of this Baneling attack in the back of his base, he's managed to keep Strelok at bay, and that's his intention. That's his goal. Now, do we have those Mutalisks on the board yet? Yes, we do. We have 12 Mutalisks on the board right now. So gonna be seeing LaLush make use of those sometime in the near future. His goal from this point basically is to stop Strelok from expanding any further. He doesn't want Strelok to move into this high yield or over here. So he's gonna try to use the Speedlings as well as those Mutalisks to try to contain him and harass him as much as possible. You can see the Mutalisks moving out, as well as some Roaches, Speedlings, and a Banelings. So here we go. I'm ready for this action here. I haven't seen this game, but I'm expecting some harassment right now. LaLush is definitely in that position. Going to have an easy time picking off these Marauders right here. Very unfortunate for Strelok. Marines moving forward to push back those mutas, though. However, he's going to be able to move right into his base. No, nice missile turret placement right there. Very good job by Strelok. He does have some idle SCVs, which of course is no good. Marines moving forward, stimming up and trying to take down this Mutalist, but being fully aware of what's going on, LaLush was able to pull back his units, so pretty safe there. And here we go, LaLush moving into the expansion and just further and further gaining that economic advantage. And this is, again, exactly what Strelok does not want. He doesn't want to fall too far behind in economy. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, a big concern as well for Strelok, even with this great missile turret placement, he does really have to worry about those Mutalisks reaching critical mass. They aren't quite there yet, but you about double that size of Mutalisks, and you are in a whole lot of trouble at that point. Now, at this point, we don't have any more Mutalisks coming right. Oh, yes, no, that's the unit tab. We don't have any more Mutalisks coming out right now. He's getting those upgrades, so also getting that speed upgrade for those Banelings. That's definitely going to help. Trying to pick off and trying to harass as the units of Strelok are spread out. He, of course, wants to avoid that bunker with the Marines full of it, taking unnecessary losses there. Again, great missile turret placement there by Strelok, trying to spread out his units and his missile turrets in a way that no matter where those Mutalisks move, they're going to get hit by something. That's kind of the goal. That's the idea anyways. Nice little bundle of forces right here in the middle. One more Mutalisk, bunch of Speedlings coming out as well. And here we go. Additional expansion coming down for LaLush. Spreading creep over here, trying to deny any more expansions from Strelok. And a great observer placement over here is going to allow him to see if he tries to push into this expansion as well. And Mutalisks just hanging out in the front, doing a great job of scouting. If we take a look at LaLush vision, I mean, he can see nearly as much as we can on everyone vision. Just look at that vision of the map. Absolutely ridiculous. Spreading creep, overlords, having scouting units like these Zerglings and these Mutalisks, very fast, very speedy units, allows him to get a good vision of the map. Now, we are trying to see a slow push right now from Strelok. This is what he kind of needs to do. He needs to slowly push forward with the tanks, trying to keep his units alive. Stim going down, taking out a lot of those Mutalisks. You can see, again, Mutalisks forced to pull back. Lots and lots of Marines moving down as well. It's going to be taking out these rocks. He really needs to get this expansion. Surround attempting to go down right now for LaLush. Going to be walking into the siege tanks. Going to pick off those siege tanks. No problem. Marines forced to pull back because of the Banelings. And Mutalisks moving in, taking a lot of fire from those Marines. Good micro there from Strelok, managing to... Oh, except for right there. Aside from that one little area, that was some really good micro there from Strelok. Further engagement going down. Lots of Banelings taking out those Marines. So unfortunately losing lots and lots of Marines to those Banelings. That's definitely what you want to avoid. Another problem there is that moving in with those Marines and Speedlings forced the attack from the siege tank, and that actually damaged Strelok's Marines as well. And that's definitely something you see Zerg players try to do. Having his units spread out here as well, getting ready for surround whenever it's necessary. You can see those different hotkey groups moving forward again as well. Going to be trying to pick off at this point. It's going to be very tough for Strelok to deal with. He doesn't quite have enough Marines to deal with these Mutalisks as of yet. A few more Marines coming down, trying to pick off those siege tanks as well. That's exactly what LaLush wants to do. Forced to pull back at this point, though. Again, we have to remember these forces over here. These are going to come into play at some point. Flying down the command center, he is now finally ready and prepared to expand here. Obviously going to be seeing that turned into a planetary fortress. That's exactly what he needs. We do have one more Mutalisk coming out. A few more Mutalisks were made here by LaLush, trying to reinforce and bolster his forces. Lots of Speedlings and Banelings, and those Banelings with that speed upgrade. Ooh, got to be able to pick off a couple of mules before being forced to pull back there from those Marines. Again, you can just see how strong Marines are against Mutalisks, but as I mentioned, once they get to critical mass, it's very tough. More Marines forced to pull down. He did lose the Marines he had, and then the Speedlings and Banelings moving in, going to be destroying the mineral line right there. Very unfortunate for Strelok. Strelok trying to stem up and attack, and again, look at this over here. We are ready for some action. We're ready for these units to come into play at any time. LaLush, please please show us those units. Please allow them to come into play. Probably going to want to see him destroy these rocks over here as well and move over into his additional expansion. Right now, he is at an advantage over Strelok in terms of economy. Now, Planetary Fortress is going to make any harassment of this a little bit more difficult, as well as with these missile turrets back here. Lots of Marines. We have some upgrades. Yes, they are 1-1. Units for LaLush, not quite upgraded as of yet. I don't even know if he has any Evo. Yes, he does 2 Evo chambers, so now finally coming out with those upgrades, deciding he needs to get some upgrades for his units in order to deal with these upgraded Marines. Moving forward with some Marines, trying to pick off a creep tumor is going to be pretty safe when he pulls back to a Planetary Fortress and that siege fire. Lots of tanks right here, not sieged up quite yet, though. He wants to wait until he knows a proper position for them. I'm going to be moving them forward right now. I think he's probably going to want to siege up right now as well. Lots of Banelings moving forward, picking them up right there in that medevac, and the medevac not getting target fired there from LaLush. I don't think he knows which medevac they were in, so going to be dropping them down again. Very nice there from Strelok. Manages to survive that Baneling attack and going to be pushing back this Mutalisk one more time. Now, a big problem here is that Strelok's been kind of dealing with this harassment for so long, and he hasn't pushed out with any counterattacks at all. He hasn't harassed an expansion for LaLush in quite some time, and allowing a Zerg player to freely expand and allowing a Zerg player to freely mass up is what you don't want to do as Terran. Trying to make use of these medevacs and trying to push on expansions as much as possible. So what he wants to do, and as soon as he moves out his forces, LaLush is going to be moving into that expansion and destroying it with those Banelings. You just saw how quickly that Planetary Fortress got dropped with all of those Banelings and those Mutalisks doing fire on them. That was ridiculous. Strelok not too thrilled about that, losing his expansion, forced to come down with another one right now. He needs to expand again. He's dwindling when it comes to economy. He's going to be pushing out right now, trying to do his damage. He needs to do some sort of damage. Losing that expansion was actually absolutely huge, and we are seeing another expansion come down as well for LaLush. So LaLush in a commanding position as far as economy is concerned. Strelok needs to do something. He needs to, at the very least, take out this expansion, and maybe if he could try to push on this one as well, that'd be great. It's going to be, of course, difficult with the speed of these Speedlings and the Mutalisks. Pushing it forward, does manage to take out the high yield, no problem. Having a nice spread of his units, trying to protect him as much as possible from those Mutalisks and those Banelings and Speedlings. Speedlings going to be moving to the back and getting some free kills over here of those siege tanks, I believe. So want to pull back. Oh, he could have gotten those siege tanks very, very quickly without a problem before those Marines reinforced. And are seeing a push over here from some Speedlings and Banelings trying to take out some of the Marines. They did manage to get a few kills off. Also going to be rolling around trying to get these Marines over here and not paying attention there. Strelok does lose all of those to that Baneling attack. Strelok was just distracted at that point, not paying quite enough attention, losing more and more Marines to these Banelings. Strelok not in the best position right now. These Mutalisks and Banelings just raining hell on his units. Marines going to be taking out a few of those Overlords, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't even know what those Overlords are doing. They're just kind of hanging out. They decided that's where they wanted to go. But again, LaLush is in just a strong position right now, even and still chilling out with these units over here. I think he'll make use of those eventually. I'm not sure quite when, though. And here we go. As I foresaw, Strelok deciding that he definitely needs to push out against this expansion at the least. If he doesn't, he could be in quite a bit of trouble. Big ball Mutalisks here, going to be picking off those tanks in the back and then pulling away before those Marines can engage. Great job there by LaLush. Going to catch this command center en route as well, so he does know that Strelok is trying to push out for another expansion there. He does, of course, want to protect this expansion as much as possible. Siege tanks moving out, going to start shelling out right here on this expansion as expected. Also, what are we seeing back here? Not a whole lot. Some drones not mining. I don't know why that ping went down at all. Marines going to be trying to protect these siege tanks so he can take out this expansion. And now what else do we have going on over here? Lots of Mutalisks moving around again, trying to pick off those siege tanks. Any siege tanks in the background. I don't know why so many pings are going down on this replay, guys. I apologize for that. Someone's been going ping crazy. And lots of Mutalisks. I want to see him make use of this. He is, of course, worried about this expansion. No expansion over here right now. Did end up losing that and trying to come down with this additional expansion back at the high yield. The Marines just doing a good job of chasing away these Mutalisks. Mutalisks not being able to do as much damage as possible. Going to be moving into the main base right now, though, if they can start to pick some things off. Some Marines pulling down really low on health because of that last stim pack. Missile turret forcing them away as well. We are seeing a re-rally of some Speedlings and Banelings here for LaLush. LaLush pushing it forward. Is he going to be able to catch those Marines in time? I think he may. Moving forward with those Banelings. Going to be managing to take out almost all the tanks. A few tanks over here as well. Not quite enough Marines right now in this. Here we go. About to reach critical mass here. At this point, Strelok's having a really hard time dealing with all these Mutalisks. He doesn't have quite enough Marines right now. You can see how low he is on resources. Lots of Espion, but not quite enough minerals at this point. So he doesn't really have enough to make Marines to reinforce. And this actually could be it. These Mutalisks could be it right now for Strelok. Strelok did a good job of taking out the expansions of LaLush, but he just doesn't have enough resources right now to make enough Marines. Even with those Marines, I'm not sure it's quite enough to deal with all these Mutalisks. Probably going to be pulling back as soon as he takes out this planetary fortress. Going to want to move forward with some Speedlings and Banelings. That's the idea, being chased down right now from those Marines, so deciding that his Mutalisks are not prepared for that, and then he wants to take out that planetary fortress and then move in with some Banelings. That is the idea, moving forward with some Banelings, taking out the planetary fortress, and then just rolling over Strelok's units, and Strelok does call good game. So nice game between these two players. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Nice game to come back to. Again, sorry for the hiatus. I did come out with this one video for today. Gonna be going back to work tonight, and then tomorrow I'm probably gonna be recording, like I said, those 3 strategy videos. Maybe getting some more commentaries out for you guys as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this cast. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep watching and keep owning.